Chapter 1.1 Functional Organization, Composition and Internal Environment of the Human Body, Physiology, Indu Khurana. Functional organization of the human body. The human body is actually a social order of about 100 trillion cells organized into different functional structure, some of which are called organs. Some organs combinedly form a system. For convenience of description, the human body can be considered to be the functionally organized into various systems. First, skin and its appendages. Skin is the outermost covering of the human body. Its appendages include hair, nail, sebaceous glands, and sweat glands. The skin performs following important functions. First, it acts as a physical barrier against the entry of the microorganism and other substance. Second, it prevents loss of water from the body. Third, it is a very important sensory organ containing receptors for touch and related sensations. Fourth, it plays an important role in regulating the body temperature. The four main functions of the skin are act as a physical barrier, prevent loss of water, act as important sensory organ, receptor for touch and related sensation, and plays important role in regulation of the temperature. Second, skeletal system. The basic framework of the body is provided by a large number of bones that collectively form the skeleton. At joints, the bones are united to each other by fibrous bands called a ligament. In addition to the bones and the joints, the skeletal system also includes the cartilages present in the body. Muscular system. Overlying and usually attached to the bones are various muscles. Muscles are composed of many elongated cells called a muscle fiber, which are able to contract and relax. Three distinct types of muscles can be identified, which are skeletal muscle, smooth muscle, and cardiac muscle. Fourth, nervous system. The specialized cells that constitute the functional unit of the nervous system are called the neurons. The nervous system may be divided into first, central nervous system made up of brain and the spinal cord, and second, the peripheral nervous system consisting of the peripheral nerves and the ganglia associated with them. The nerves supplying the body wall and limbs are often called the cerebrospinal nerves. The nerves supplying the viscera along with the parts of the brain and the spinal cord related to them constitute the autonomic nervous system. The autonomic nervous system is subdivided into two major parts, the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous system. Fifth, cardiovascular system. The cardiovascular system consists of the heart and the blood vessels. The blood vessels that take blood from the heart to the various tissue are called the arteries. The small arteries are called the arterioles. Arterioles open into a network of capillaries that perfuse the tissue. Exchange of various substances between the blood and the tissue take place through the walls of the capillaries. In some situations, capillaries are replaced by slightly different vessels called the sinusoids. Blood from capillaries or from the sinusoid is collected by small venules which join to form the vein. The vein returns blood to the heart. Sixth, respiratory system. The respiratory system consists of the lungs and the passage through which the air reaches them. The passage are the nasal cavities, the pharynx, the trachea and the bronchi, and their intrapulmonary continuations. Seventh, digestive system. The digestive or the alimentary system include all those structures that are concerned with eating and with digestion and absorption of food. The system consists of an alimentary canal, which includes the oral cavity, pharynx, esophagus, stomach, small intestine and large intestine. Other structures included in the digestive system are the liver, the gallbladder and the pancreas. Eighth, excretory system. Excretion is the removal of the waste product of the metabolism from the body. Egestion or defecation is the removal of the undigested food from the gut and is not regulated as excretion and is not regarded as excretion because the material taken into the gut through the mouth is not made by the body itself. The organ forming excretory system are the kidney, the ureters, the bladder and the urethra. Reproductive system. Reproduction is the production of a new generation of individual of the same species. It involves the transmission of the genetic material from one generation to the next. The male reproductive organ are the testes, the epididymis, the duct deferens, the seminal vesicle, the prostate, the male urethra, and the penis. The female reproductive organ are the ovaries, uterine tube, the uterus, the vagina, the external genitalia, and the mammary glands. 10. Endocrine system. Endocrine tissue is made up essentially of the cells that produce secretion which are poured directly into the blood called a hormone. Some organs are entirely endocrine in function. They are referred to as the endocrine gland or the ductless gland. Example: hypophysis cerebri, pituitary gland, the pineal gland, the thyroid gland and the parathyroid glands, and the suprarenal adrenal glands. Groups of the endocrine cell may be present in the organ that have other function. These include the islet of Langerhans of the pancreas, the interstitial cell of the testes, the follicles, and the corpora lutea of the ovaries. Hormones are also produced by some cells in the kidney, the thymus, and the placenta. Blood and immune system. Blood is regarded as the modified connective tissue because the cellular elements in it are separated by a considerable amount of the intercellular substance, and because some of the cell in it have close affinity to the cell in the general connective tissue. Circulating blood normally contains three main types of the cell which perform their respective physiological functions. The red blood cell, erythrocyte, are largely concerned with oxygen transport. The white cell, leukocyte, play various roles in the body defense against infection and tissue injury. Platelets, thrombocyte, which are primarily involved in maintaining the integrity of the blood vessels and in preventing blood loss. Detailed physiology of each organ system is considered in the relevant chapters. Body composition. The normal body in an average adult male is composed of water 60%, mineral 7%, protein and related substance 18%, and fat 15%. The water denoted by the term total body water, and the electrolytes need special emphasis. Total body water. Total body water. Water is the principal and essential constituent of the human body. The total body water is about 10% less in the normal young adult female, average 50%, than that in the normal young average adult male, 60%, due to relatively greater amount of adipose tissue in the females. In both sexes, the value tends to decrease with the age. The body fluid compartment. The total body water is distributed into two main compartments of the body fluid separated from each other by membrane freely permeable to water. First, intracellular fluid compartment. The intracellular fluid ICF compartment comprises about 40% of the body weight, the bulk of which is contained in the muscles. Extracellular fluid compartment. The extracellular fluid compartment constitutes about 20% of the body weight. The ECF compartment comprises the following. First, plasma. It is the fluid portion of the blood, intravascular fluid, and comprises about 5% of the body weight, that is 25% of the ECF. On an average, out of 5 liter of the total blood volume, 3.5 liter is plasma. Second, interstitial fluid including lymph. It constitutes the major portion of about 3/4 of the ECF. The composition of the interstitial fluid is same as that of the plasma except it has little protein. Thus, interstitial fluid is an ultrafiltrate of plasma. Third, transcellular fluid. It is the fluid contained in the secretion of the secretory cell and the cavities of the body. Example: saliva, sweat, cerebrospinal fluid, intraocular fluids, aqueous humor and vitreous humor. Pericardial fluid, bile, fluid present between the layers, pleura, peritoneal, synovial membrane, lacrimal fluid, and the luminal fluid of the gut, thyroid, and cochlea. Transcellular fluid volume is relatively small, about 1.5% of the body weight, that is 15 ml per kg body weight, about 1 liter in the person of the 70 kg. Fourth, mesenchymal tissue fluid. The mesenchymal tissue, such as dense connective tissue, cartilage, and bones, contain about 6% of the body weight, body water. The interstitial fluid, transcellular fluid, and the mesenchymal tissue fluid combinedly form the 75% of the ECF. The normal distribution of the total body water in the fluid compartment is kept constant by two opposing set of force, osmotic and the hydrostatic pressure. Distribution of the total body water in different compartment. Arrow indicates the fluid movement. Here the intake is shown. As the intake of the food or the water is taken, it reaches the stomach and the first exchange take place here. Then in the intestine, the second exchange take place. The glands and the secretory tissue also secrete their secretion, and the food is removed as the feces. And the urine is taken to the kidney for the filtration of the blood, and then urine output goes. Plasma 3.5 liter, 5% of the body weight. This is the capillary membrane shown here. The lungs also diffuses CO2 and O2 along with the extracellular fluid, which is 14 liters, 20% of the body weight. Here the total body water 42 liters, 60% of the body weight comprises full of this. Intracellular fluid 28 liter, 40% of the body weight. Table 1.1, distribution of the total body water in a normal 70 kg person. Compartment: total body water, intracellular fluid, extracellular fluid, plasma 25%, interstitial fluid, transcellular fluid, and the mesenchymal tissue fluids. Here the total body water in a 70 kg normal person averagely is 42 liters, body weight 60%, and the body water is 100%. Intracellular fluid, which is 2 by 3 of the total volume, constitute 28 liter of the volume, and hence 2 by 3 into 60, that is 40 body weight and 67% of the total body water. Extracellular fluid, the remaining fluid 1/3 into 42 liters is equal to 14 liter. 60 into 1 by 3, 20, and 100% into 1 by 3, which makes 33% of the body water. The ECF constitute of the plasma and the interstitial fluid. Plasma is about 1 by 4, and interstitial fluid along with the other fluids constitute 3 by 4. Therefore plasma is 3.5 liter volume, and interstitial fluid, transcellular fluid, and mesenchymal fluid along constitute 10.5 liter volume. The body weight is also distributed. 1 by 4 of the 20 is 5, and 3 by 4 of the 20 is 15, and hence 8% of the body water is the plasma, and 25% of the body water is constituted by the remaining fluids. Measurement of the body fluid volume. Theoretically, it is possible to measure the volume of each fluid compartment by injecting a substance indicator that will stay in only one compartment, provided the concentration of the substance in the body fluid and the amount removed by excretion and metabolism can be accurately measured, as volume is equal to A1 minus A2 upon C, where V is the volume of the fluid compartment. Here we can simply remember the formula by remembering the formula of the concentration. What is the concentration of anything? Concentration of anything refers to the substance upon volume. Concentration of population can be said by number of people upon area, and similarly concentration of the substance in the body is measured by concentration, amount of substance. Simply, concentration of the substance in the body can be measured by amount of substance present in the body upon volume. Here, when we interchange the volume from the denominator to the left hand side, the concentration to the left hand side will come to the denominator on the right hand side, and hence A1 minus A2 is the amount present in the body upon concentration, which will leads to the formula of volume. A1 amount of indicator injected into the fluid, A2 amount of indicator removed by excretion and the metabolism, and C concentration of the indicator in the fluid. For example, if 150 mg of sucrose A1 is injected into a 70 kg man, 10 mg of sucrose has been excreted or metabolized, and the concentration of the plasma sucrose C measured is 0.01 mg per ml, then the volume distribution of the sucrose is here A1 minus A2 upon concentration is equal to volume. Prerequisite for accurate body fluid measurement. Though the formula described above for the measuring the body fluid volume appears simple, the material injected indicator should have the following characteristic. First, it should be non-toxic. It must mix evenly throughout the compartment being measured. It should be relatively easy to measure its concentration. It must have no effect of its own on distribution of the water or the other substance in the body. Either it must be unchanged by the body during the mixing period, or amount changed, excreted and metabolized must be known. The method of measuring the body fluid is called the indicator dilution method, and can be used to measure the volume of the different compartment of the body fluid by using the suitable indicator marker, which will get distributed in the particular compartment as follows. First, to measure the total body water volume. The volume of the total body water can be measured by injecting a marker which will evenly distributed in all the compartment of the body fluid. Such marker include deuterium oxide D2O, tritium oxide and aminopyrine. The volume of the total body water can be calculated from the values of the concentration of the marker in the plasma. Second, measurement of the extracellular fluid volume. The volume of the extracellular fluid can be measured by injecting those markers substance which cannot enter the cell but can freely pass through the capillary membrane and thus can distribute it evenly in all the compartment of the ECF. Such substance include radioactive substance like sodium chloride 36 chloride and 38 chloride, bromide 82 bromide, sulfate and thiosulfate, and non-metabolizable saccharides like inulin, mannitol and sucrose. Most accurate method of measuring the volume of the ECF is by using inulin polysaccharide with molecular weight 5200. The values of the ECF volume can be calculated from the values of the concentration of inulin in the plasma, since it makes an important component of the ECF. Measurement of the plasma volume. The plasma volume can be measured by injecting those markers which bind strongly with the plasma protein and either do not diffuse or diffuse only in a small quantity into the interstitium. These substances are radioactive iodine 131I and the dye-Evans blue T1824. The plasma volume can also be calculated from the values of the red blood cell, which can be measured using radioactive isotope of chromium 51. Measurement of the intracellular fluid volume. The volume of ICF cannot be measured directly, since there is no substance which can be confined exclusively to a compartment after intravenous injection. Therefore, the value of ICF volume can be calculated from the values of the total body water and the extracellular fluid as ICF is equal to total body volume minus ECF. This means that there is no substance which can pass into the intracellular fluid compartment, that is inside the cell, but empty from the extracellular fluid after going into the intracellular fluid. Therefore, as there is no substance which is exclusively present in the intracellular fluid, hence it cannot be measured directly. For measuring the intracellular fluid, we know that the total body water minus ECF is the formula. Measurement of the interstitial fluid volume. Like ICF volume, the volume of the interstitial fluid also cannot be measured directly for the same reason. Its value can be roughly calculated from the value of the ECF volume and the plasma volume, as interstitial fluid volume is equal to ECF minus plasma volume. Note, the ECF volume is to intracellular fluid volume, ICF. ECF to ICF ratio is larger in infant and children as compared to the adults, but absolute volume of the ECF in the children is smaller than the in adult. Therefore, the dehydration develops rapidly, more frequently and severe in the children than in adult. ये कहना चाह रहा है कि जो वॉल्यूम सेल के बाहर है अपॉन जो वॉल्यूम जो सेल के अंदर है, उसका जो रेशियो है, यानी बाहर जितना वॉल्यूम अंदर जितना वॉल्यूम, उसका रेशियो इन्फेंट में ज़्यादा होता है. मतलब ECF एक्स्ट्रा सेलुलर फ्लूइड वॉल्यूम ज़्यादा होगा एज कम्पेयर टू एडल्ट्स. लेकिन जो एब्सोल्यूट वॉल्यूम है, मतलब जो टोटल वॉल्यूम की वैल्यू है ECF में चिल्ड्रन में, वो छोटी है, बहुत कम वॉल्यूम है ECF में, इसीलिए डिहाइड्रेशन के चांसेस उसमें ज़्यादा है. बॉडी इलेक्ट्रोलाइट्स. The electrolyte constitute about 7% of the total body weight. The distribution of the electrolytes in various compartments differs markedly. Table 1.12 shows the distribution of the electrolyte in the two major compartments of the body fluid, the ECF and ICF. Distribution of the ions in the ECF and the ICF. Values are in, this is not macro equivalent, it is milli equivalent per liter of H2O. Ions, cations, anions, extracellular fluid, intracellular fluid. The important values to be remembered are all, but we can simply remember which cation or which anion is greater in ECF and lesser in ECF. And the most important are sodium, potassium and the chloride. The values to be remembered for sodium 142 ECF, 14 ICF. Potassium 5.5, or we can say equal to 5, or 150 in the ECF, but we can say 140 to remember the value of the sodium and potassium. Sodium in ECF is larger, and in potassium the value of the ECF is lesser as compared to the ICF. Calcium 5 less than 1. Magnesium extracellular fluid 3, ICF 58. Anion chloride ECF 103, ICF 4. Bicarbonate ECF 28, ICF 10. Phosphate ECF 4, ICF 75. Protein ECF 1 gram per deciliter, ICF 5 gram per deciliter. Here potassium, magnesium, phosphate and protein. The thing to remember in these four are that the value are lesser in ECF and greater in the ICF, and remaining other are greater in ICF and lesser in the ECF. From table 1.12 it may be noted that in the ICF the main cation are potassium and the magnesium, and the main anion are the phosphate and the protein, while in the ECF the predominant cation is sodium and the principal anion are chloride and bicarbonate ion. Beside this, a small proportion of non-diffusible protein, nutrient and metabolites such as glucose, urea are also present in the ECF. The essential difference between the two main subdivisions of the ECF is the higher protein content in the plasma than in the interstitial fluid, which plays an important role in maintaining the fluid balance. It is important to note that essentially all of the body potassium is in the exchangeable pool. Only 65 to 70% of the body sodium is exchangeable. Almost all of the body calcium and the magnesium are non-exchangeable. Only the exchangeable solutes are osmotically active. Function of electrolyte. Electrolytes are the main solute in the body fluids for the maintenance of the acid-base balance. Electrolyte maintains the proper osmolarity and volume of the body fluids. The concentration of the certain electrolytes determine their specific physiological function. Example, the effect of the calcium ion on the neuromuscular excitability. Internal environment and homeostasis. Internal environment. Claude Bernard, 1949, the great French physiologist, introduced the term internal environment of the body or the milieu interior for the extracellular fluid of the body. He said so since all the body cells essentially depend upon the ECF for maintenance of the cellular life. Cells are capable of living, growing and performing their special functions so long as the proper concentration of oxygen, glucose, different ion, amino acid, fatty substance and other constituents are available in the internal environment. Homeostasis. Homeostasis, a term introduced by W.B. Cannon, refers to the mechanism by which the constancy of the internal environment is maintained and ensured. For this purpose, the living membrane, with varying permeability such as vascular endothelium and the cell membrane, plays important role. The factors involving in the maintenance of the internal environment can be summarized as transport of ECF, maintenance of pH of ECF, acid-base balance, regulation of temperature, maintenance of water and electrolyte balance, supply of nutrients, oxygen, enzyme and hormones, removal of metabolic and other waste product and reproduction. Mode of action of homeostasis control system. The homeostasis is a complex phenomenon. The mode of operation of all the systems which are involved in the homeostasis is through feedback mechanism and the two adaptive control systems. Feedback mechanism is of the two types, the negative feedback mechanism and the positive feedback mechanism. Negative feedback mechanism. Most control system of the body act by negative feedback. That is, in general, if the activity of a particular system is increased or decreased, a control system initiates a negative feedback which consists of a series of changes that returns the activity towards normal. Example of the feedback mechanism. When the blood pressure suddenly rises or lowers, it initiates a series of the reaction that tries to bring the blood pressure to the normal level. Second, when thyroxine secretion is more, it inhibits the secretion of the thyroid stimulating hormone from pituitary so that thyroxine is not secreted from the thyroid gland. Second, positive feedback mechanism. Positive feedback is better known as the vicious cycle. Usually it is harmful and in some instances even death can occur due to the positive feedback. For example, as shown in the figure 1.12, when a person has suddenly bleed 2 liters of the blood, a vicious cycle of the progressively weakening of the heart is set which ultimately can cause death. A mild degree of the feedback can be overcome by the negative feedback control mechanism of the body and a vicious cycle failed to develop. For example, when a patient bleeds 1 liter of the blood instead of 2, the negative feedback mechanism of controlling the blood pressure may overcome the positive feedback and the blood pressure will return to the normal as shown in the figure 1.12. Here, the figure is shown to explain the mechanism of the positive feedback. Bleeding. When 2 liters of blood is bleeded, there is decrease in the blood pressure. Decrease of the flow of the blood to the heart muscles, which leads to weakening of the heart, which leads to decreased pumping power of the heart, which further leads to decreased blood pressure and which eventually cause death. मतलब कि अगर 2 लीटर खून बह गया है तो उसके कारण जो ब्लड प्रेशर है बॉडी में वो कम हो गया. ब्लड प्रेशर के कम होने के कारण ब्लड फ्लो हार्ट मसल तक जो पहुंचा था वो भी कम होगा. अब ब्लड फ्लो नहीं होगा तो हार्ट के मसल्स वीक हो जाएंगे. हार्ट के मसल्स के वीक होने पर उनकी पंपिंग पावर भी वीक हो जाएगी. अगर पंपिंग पावर वीक हो गई तो ब्लड फ्लो अच्छे से फिर से नहीं कर पाएगा बॉडी में, जो पूरी एक साइकिल बना रहा है जिसके कारण बॉडी में फिर से ब्लड प्रेशर कम हो जाएगा और जो अल्टीमेटली डेथ को लीड करेगा. मतलब पेशेंट की डेथ हो सकती है. फर्दर समटाइम पॉजिटिव फीडबैक कैन सर्व यूजफुल पर्पस. एग्जाम्पल अंडर फॉलोइंग सर्कमस्टांसिस. ये कुछ एग्जाम्पल है जो पॉजिटिव फीडबैक में हम लिख सकते हैं. एक एलएच सर्ज है. एलएच सर्ज मतलब एलएच का हार्मोन का रिलीज ड्यूरिंग 14th डे ऑफ द मेंस्ट्रुअल साइकिल, जो लीड करेगा ज़्यादा LH हार्मोन के रिलीज़ को। ये पॉजिटिव फीडबैक का एक एग्जांपल है। क्लॉट फॉर्मेशन followed by the rupture of the vessel is accelerated by the vicious cycle of the thrombin formation. This stop the bleeding. मतलब कि क्लॉट फॉर्मेशन होगा तो जो थ्रोम्बिन फॉर्मेशन है उसको विशियस साइकिल यानी पॉजिटिव फीडबैक मैकेनिज्म के द्वारा ज़्यादा क्लॉट फॉर्म करने देंगे, जिसके कारण ब्लीडिंग रुक जाएगी। चाइल्ड बर्थ ड्यूरिंग द लेबर इज फैसिलिटेटेड बाय द प्रोग्रेसिव इंक्रीज इन यूटेराइन कॉन्ट्रैक्शन ड्यू टू पॉजिटिव फीडबैक फ्रॉम द स्ट्रेचिंग ऑफ द सर्विक्स बाय द हेड ऑफ द बेबी। मतलब जब बेबी डिलीवर आउट हो रहा होता है तो बेबी का हेड जब यूट्राइन वॉल को टच करता है तब एक कॉन्ट्रैक्शन डेवलप होता है, जिसके कारण कि बेबी पार्चुरेट हो सके। और जैसे ही एक बार वो टच करता है एक कॉन्ट्रैक्शन आता है, जिसके कारण वो जो बेबी का हेड है वो यूट्राइन वॉल को ज़्यादा स्टिम्युलेट कर सकता है दूसरी बार, जिसके कारण एक और उससे भी ज़्यादा बड़ा कॉन्ट्रैक्शन आ सकता है, जिसे हम लेबर पेन कहते हैं। जनरेशन ऑफ द नर्व सिग्नल बाय विशियस साइकिल ऑफ progressive leaky of sodium ions from the channel set up following stimulation of the membrane of the nerve fiber is due to the positive feedback। मतलब कि सोडियम लीकी चैनल्स जो है उनके अगर सोडियम किसी सेल मेम्ब्रेन के अंदर जा रहा है और उसे डीपोलराइज कर रहा है तो इसको एक पॉजिटिव फीडबैक सिस्टम में यूज़ करते हुए ज़्यादा सोडियम को वो सेल के अंदर जाने देगा। फर्दर अ नेम टू बी रिमेंबर्ड फॉर MCQ हॉजकिन साइकिल एंड एक्टिवेशन ऑफ द ट्रिप्सिन एंड पेप्सिन। ट्रिप्सिन और पेप्सिन जैसे एक्टिवेट होंगे पॉजिटिव फीडबैक के कारण वो ज़्यादा एंजाइम रिलीज करवाने में हेल्प करेंगे। A different control system is also there, adaptive control system. Adaptive control system refers to a delayed type of negative feedback mechanism. This is seen in the nervous system. For example, when some movement of the body occurs very rapidly, there is not enough time for the nerve signals to travel from the peripheral part of the body all the way to the brain and then back to the periphery again in time to control the movement. Under such circumstances, brain uses principle called a feed-forward control to cause the required muscles contraction, which retrospectively मतलब with consideration of the past events or situations, मतलब past events के consider करते हुए वो muscles contract करवाने में डायरेक्ट फीड फॉरवर्ड कंट्रोल सिस्टम से ब्रेन करवाएगा, which retrospectively is conveyed to the brain by sensory nerve signal from the moving part. If the movement performed is found incorrect, the brain correct the feed forward signal that is sent to the muscles the next time the movement is required. Such a correction made by successive retrospective feedback mechanism is called adaptive control. मतलब कुछ चीज़ें ऐसी होती है जिनमें ब्रेन तक सिग्नल जाने तक का टाइम नहीं होता, तो उसके लिए ब्रेन फीड फॉरवर्ड कंट्रोल सिस्टम पे वर्क करता है जो रेट्रोस्पेक्टिव होता है। रेट्रोस्पेक्टिव मतलब पास्ट सिचुएशन के कंसिडरेशन करके, मतलब पास्ट में ऐसी कोई चीज़ हुई होगी, अगर ऐसी सेम चीज़ होती है तो कौन सा मसल्स कॉन्ट्रैक्ट करना है वो ब्रेन में स्टोर होता है, जो उसको दूसरी बार सिग्नल ब्रेन तक जाए उससे पहले मसल्स तक भेज देता है सिग्नल कि ये इसको कॉन्ट्रैक्ट करवाना है। और अगर उसमें कोई गलती होती है तो ब्रेन उसको नेक्स्ट टाइम सुधार लेता है।